a 1998 batch of Indian Defence Estate Service officer of the Indian Civil Service, Venkatanagi Reddy, is currently the Chief Vigilance Officer, Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited, a position equivalent to Joint Secretary in the Government of India. A mechanical engineer by initial training, Nagi Reddy Sir has acquired a certificate in advanced training in public administration by Syracuse University, New York, with core competencies in general administration, urban development, estate management, foreign trade, export promotion, administration of public sector undertakings, and vigilance administration. He served as Chief Executive Officer of cantonments at Kannur, Babina, Barakpur, and Pune. He headed the Madras Circle of Defense Estates and served as Deputy Director General of Defense Estates before moving into the Department of Commerce as Director, traveling to countries like Russia, Belgium, Netherlands, China, Peru, Vietnam, the Philippines, Colombia, Ecuador, Mexico, Brazil, and the United States for export promotion. On behalf of GITAM deemed university, I will extend my warm welcome to you, sir. I request now Mr. Nagareddy to deliver his lecture. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. Firstly, I am very happy to be amongst the young minds because it is the youth that are going to take this country forward in a progressive manner. And I am thankful to the management of GITAM for having given me this opportunity. And in particular, Dr. Nalini, with whom I have associated myself during the preparation for the civil services exams during 97 and 98. I have been told that you are all freshers waiting to take on the academics pertaining to your graduation, and you belong to various streams. I was told we have engineers, we have people who are pursuing medicine, humanities, and sciences. And if I missed out, I'm sorry for that, but I see this as an opportunity to be able to invoke certain thoughts. And I am also told that there are large number of students who have joined this session online from the other auditoriums as well as the other centers of GITAM in India. So I would like to not make this as a routine presentation or a lecture, because seeing you all, I am also recollecting my days in college. I am an engineer by qualification and definitely have been a very naughty one. I don't remember much of engineering now. And it was almost in similar session that we had an opportunity to listen to an officer who belonged to the civil services. And I think it was his talk in those days which motivated me to have this ambition to get into the civil services as a career. In fact, many of my colleagues, they used to say, why have you joined engineering if you have decided to get into a public walk of life through civil services? Why don't you pursue writing exams like GRE, etc., and get over to some place in US or elsewhere and getting to a prolific career? But I would like to make a point here. You are free to choose your careers and you are free to fulfill your dreams as well as those of your parents. But remember one thing, wherever you may be placed after your education, you need to have this motto in mind. This is the motto that can propel our country into the top league of nations. We are already there. In fact, we are almost there. But we also know how India has different worlds. Any of you from rural background? Anyone? Anyone who belong to villages? None of you? Surprising? You are? Yeah, please stand up. From where you are? Pitapuram. But you belong to a village or proper Pitapuram? Village. So, can you tell me what you found exciting in your village? Anything, just you can be spontaneous.
Agricultural lands.
Huh?
Agricultural lands.
Agricultural lands. So, which stream now you are going to start? You are joining which course?
CS core. CSC core.
Okay. So, please sit down. One of your colleagues has given the answer, what excites him is agriculture. We are all aware that we are still predominantly an agrarian country. Does anyone have an idea whether we have surplus of food grains? Anyone? Did you ever think wheat, rice, from where we are getting all these? Do we have enough to feed? What is the population of India? Yes? Yeah. So, did you ever think of the capability of India in terms of feeding this 1 billion plus population? Did you ever think of it? Some of you must have done your geography and all you must have taken in your school time. So, which is the country that produces the largest quantity of wheat? Yes? No idea? Okay. Have you heard of the country Vietnam? What is Vietnam famous for? Anyone? Okay, so I am able to hear a lot of noises, but no clear answer. I had an opportunity to visit Vietnam. It's a small country. In size comparison, it is no way comparable to India. It is one of the prominent members of ASEAN. It is a prosperous country and it is progressing well. Last 20 years, they have been able to become pioneers in cultivating lot of varieties of crops. And Vietnam took complete support from India, which was the best way to cultivate rice, sugarcane, cotton, tobacco, spices, rubber. So Vietnam, which was a country that had fought wars with all the mighty powers in the world. Do you know that Vietnam had a prolonged war with the US? Right? Not only US, they had a prolonged war with European countries. They had a prolonged war with China. They had a prolonged struggle with Japan. They had lot of conflicts with other neighbors as well. Yet, if you Google for the parameters of Vietnam, you will find lot of startling facts. Their production capacity per acre is much higher than that of India. Like one of your colleagues here said about agriculture. If you see the Vietnamese capacity in terms of how they use genetic varieties, biotechnology, the agro-based technologies, it is immense. I suggest you should Google once to understand the achievements of Vietnam. So, in the course of meetings in Vietnam, we were taken to a museum in Vietnam. So they said, you have to visit this museum. It is one of the best. I said, yes, okay. So the entire Indian delegation, we went to see the museum. And after they have shown us the entire artifacts, their history, everything, they took us to a place where we could see the wreckage of a aircraft. It was a aircraft which is similar to our MiG aircraft, as big as this hall in width. So that aircraft was totally in a bad shape, and it was kept like a souvenir. So we asked them, what is this? Then the Vietnamese proudly say, this is the US aircraft which we brought down during the war with US. And below that aircraft, they have put photograph of those soldiers who actually fought in that night to bring that aircraft down. So that is the patriotic spirit that they had. And you will be surprised again that Vietnam, their struggles against all these powers were majorly led by women. It was the Vietnamese women who actually took to guns. They were actually wielding the weapons against the mighty troops. And they are so proud of that fact that we have given everything to defend the sovereignty of our nation. What do you mean by sovereignty? Can anyone reply? Yes? Please stand. Anyone? Yeah. What do you mean by sovereignty of a country? Hope you all didn't have a heavy lunch. Normally afternoon sessions are difficult to handle. Yeah, please. What do you mean by sovereignty? Yes, good. Yeah, and
we treat everybody equally, like we are not ruled by anybody else other than our own people.
so you have a freedom.
Yeah.
You have a freedom to rule your country, govern yourselves in whatever way you like, in whatever way the people like, right? So, please sit down. So, losing that sovereignty means we lose our identity, we lose ourselves. That is the reason why we have to maintain the spirit of being patriotic, to see that we never lose our freedom, we are never dominated by any other power in the world, compelling us to lose our sovereignty. So, this is the background of this theme: Vigilant India, Prosperous India. Now, as they said, we have to catch them young. That means we have to interact with you all youngsters, so that we share our experiences, we share our thoughts as to why the prosperity of India is linked with India being vigilant. Can anyone say what is the meaning of vigilant? What do you mean by vigilant? Yes? Alert. You have Googled it, or you know it? Doesn't matter, you can Google also, no problem. You haven't Googled, right? Then it's good. So, we have to be alert. And in Hindi, it is called as satarkata. Okay? It is called as satarkata. We have people who have languages other than Telugu also as mother language, no? There may be. Anyone who has Hindi as mother language? या आप थोड़ा खड़े हो जाइए, आप अपना परिचय दीजिए। हाँ, छत्तीसगढ़ से हैं आप? कहाँ से छत्तीसगढ़ में? जगदलपुर। आपके जगदलपुर के पास क्या क्या नज़ारे हैं? Yes. Yes, and you have a lot of mines also. There are a lot of mines in Chhattisgarh which are actually very important for the industrial growth of India. Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
So, the idea of having this theme by the government was to propagate the awareness amongst the young generation. Like, you have to be alert, you have to be vigilant in all walks of life. It doesn't mean that only the employees or your professors, lecturers, the staff, business people, farmers, not just they. It is the students also who have to be alert. And whatever stage in life you are required to be following a model code of conduct. Everyone will have to adopt a model code of conduct. It is not just the government officials, not just the business people, not just the politicians, everyone. So, in fact, I was asking whether you have been shared with a document which speaks about model code of conduct. So, I was told that it is being prepared. Very soon you will be getting that. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by ethics? What ethics? What do ethics mean? Values. Like? Any example? What do you mean by, if you say that that person's ethics are very high, he maintains a high standard of ethics, she maintains a high standard of ethics, what do you mean by that? Honesty? Yeah? Sincerity? Courage? Punctuality? Right conduct? So it's a big basket of values. We speak as ethics. Has anyone heard about some posts that are called as Chief Ethics Officer? Have you heard about it? Yeah. Yeah, CEO, what you know is there, but now there is a new profession that has come into play in private sector also, where the person managing that post is responsible for propagating good ethics amongst the employees and monitoring whether the ethics are being maintained or not. So some of you who are wanting to pursue a career in HR, they may think of adopting certain certification courses. There are certification courses also on ethics. So it's a wide topic now. It is branching out into all professions. Gone are those days when it was expected that a person will follow the rules. It is not happening. Now there is a requirement where we need to inculcate, we need to monitor how the value systems are to be respected by each and every individual. So this presentation which I am making is going to be with your faculty. You can read it in leisure because I'll be skipping some of those slides, as I feel for this audience, it may not be proper for me to go so deep into the subject. So I will prefer to make it as a more of an interactive session, sharing my experiences as a civil services officer, also as an engineering student or a student, and whatever experiences we have of having interacted with various countries across the world. Next. See, this is one thing that you all need to remember. Integrity, transparency, and accountability. Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of accountability? Anyone? आप हिंदी में भी बोल सकते हैं, जो भी कोई नो बैरियर नहीं है, जो अपना लैंग्वेज में बोलना चाहते हैं बोल सकते हैं. अकाउंटेबिलिटी का मतलब क्या है? वो लास्ट में do all of you take pocket money from your parents? So do you give them account for what you have spent that money for?
Sir,
Yes.
in Telugu it says as Javabdaritanam, sir.
Edamma? What is it?
Javabdaritanam will say in Telugu, sir.
Javabudaritanam. Yeah, right. So, please sit down. So when I say accountability, you as a student also have an accountability, right or wrong? You have, no? Like, you are accountable to yourself. I'm not saying you are accountable to your parents, your faculty and all. What I always say is, you are accountable to your own self. If your conscious is not taking your account, that means something is wrong. It can be whatever activity that you do. When we were in college, there was a problem for us, like we never used to study regularly, only before exams we used to study. So in engineering, what used to happen is you have continuously that 8 papers per the semester. So some of us used to select, okay, you study these, you prepare the notes, I will study the other ones and I will prepare the notes for that. So sometimes it used to so happen, the subjects which I was supposed to prepare, I used to prepare the notes, but my roommate or my classmate who was supposed to prepare, he was not preparing the notes. So he is not being accountable. He has assured me of doing a thing and he is flouting it. So that is also accountable. Not about just money or your thing. Your conduct, your behavior. So the accountability starts there also. What do you mean by integrity? Yes? Anyone? Yeah. Some of you can Google it also, no problem. As I said, it is an interactive session. What do you mean by integrity? Imandari.
Being honest and having moral principles.
Good. Okay. And you said, someone said imandari here. Yeah, please sit down. तो ईमानदारी किस तरीका की ईमानदारी? Okay. Exactly. Yes. So please sit down. So do you, in some of you during your school times, did you have a subject called as moral science? So what was the best lesson you learnt in your moral science subject? Yeah? Anyone from the boys this time? Girls are being more active. Anyone from the boys side? Whoever has had moral science in their school, can you tell me what was an important lesson you learnt out of that moral science subject? From the boys? On count of 3, you will lose your chance. It will go to girls now. Okay? Anyone? House is open. Anyone can now answer. Yeah, please. That's what in the moral science that you have understood and you have inculcated that in your conduct, right? So when you are learning about honesty, did you imagine or did you come to know about one personality in India, whether it is in anyone? Can you take one person as an example to say that he is honest? Any one person whom you know? Yeah. Okay, sit down. Why I am telling you this? But that is what honesty speaks of. Has anyone read a lot about Dr. Abdul Kalam Azad? Anyone? Yes? Anyone can tell me one or two sentences about our most liked, one of the most liked former presidents? Anyone? He was also called as so many names are there for him. Yeah, come on. Any one sentence, one incident of his life. Okay, I'll not no, put more burden on you all. After having become the President of India, he received a lot of gifts from various countries, right? During his tours to those countries, during the functions that he used to attend in India. So Dr. Abdul Kalam received a lot of gifts, priceless items, etc. You know what he did with all those? While demitting the office of the President of India, he ordered his office to make a list of all those, and they were left in the Rashtrapati Bhavan. You know inventory? What do you mean by inventory? Inventory means we prepare a list of all items that are in our possession. So he ordered that they should all be included in the inventory of the President of India's office. He said, these were given not to me as an individual. They were given to me as President of India. So I have no personal right over them. This is one example of honesty. Right? See, tomorrow you all will get jobs. You will be placed either in the public sector, private sector. You may be doing your own business. You know, there are people who consider using the office facility. Like now, the communications have become very cheap, like your cell phone and all. It's not that costly. You are having a lot of free calls, etc. But in our younger days, we had the facility that was called as STD. So for talking from one place to another, we had to book calls, or we used to have a direct dialing facility. So it was a luxury to have a telephone with STD and ISD facility. So what we were told when we entered service, they said, please don't misuse your office telephone. They said that is honesty. So this is how you have to adopt these values. That is where integrity lies. Integrity is not a simple term. All these three words that are reflected there, integrity, transparency, and accountability. These three actually have to be your core values. I am telling you, believe me, you start practicing, they will give you excellent dividends in all walks of life. I am not going to talk more about corruption, etc., because some of you may be aware, you may be reading newspapers, etc. I am going to focus mainly on what vigilance means, what vigilant young minds mean, how they are important to the country to prosper. Next. Next slide, please. Everyone talks about the society, the corruption that we have in the society, and the duties of the government. This slide which I have shown, this has not been prepared by me. This has been prepared, or we had an essay competition in the Vizag steel plant where I am presently posted. So we have a lot of schools there. So the students of those schools were requested to participate in this essay competition. So it was one girl who wrote these lines. Previous slide, please. These lines were written by a girl who was from 10th standard. Please read in leisure. Just see the maturity of that mind. हम सब लोगों को लगेगा कि ये बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट टॉपिक है, लेकिन आप ये देखिएगा कि एक 10th स्टैंडर्ड की लड़की, if she is able to think on these lines, that means our education system, our value system is moving on the right lines. We all need to follow these lines. You see how she has written. She has written, when people are treated equally in all walks of life for the same kind of job, emoluments made in private sector are much more than in public sector. So she has started differentiating. And then she talks about greediness of people. There is a famous saying, Mother Earth has enough for everybody's need, but not greed. You must have heard about it, right? You have it in your textbooks. So that applies everywhere, not just on environment. So one cannot pursue things to fulfill his greed. He or she should be pursuing for fulfilling their needs. And look how she has written about the government. She says, what is a good government? A good government is to non-violently protect and support all sections of people. See the words she has used, non-violently protect. Right? So, in her opinion, she says, these are the steps that are required to eliminate corruption, inefficiency, waste, and dishonesty. So, this is what I wanted to make you all understand. Age is no bar. Your qualification, educations are no bar. Whatever stage you may be, you need to think of these things and adopt in your day-to-day life. That is most important. Next slide, please. These lines came from one of our employees. In fact, I was told that you have a research scholar whose father is in steel plant. So, they have penned these lines. It is their view that how the nation should progress and how the laws and rules should be adopted. Next slide. As I said, I am not going to talk much about this. We all know that it is a problem. Some thinkers, anyone who is taking sociology in their coming sessions, in their stream, please stand up. So you are going to yeah, and sociology happens to be one of my optional in my civil service examination. So though I am an engineer, I never knew ABCD of sociology, but no, the subject has so much variety. How the thinkers in sociology have come up with various theories about society, etc. And especially how you have to correlate your current day-to-day problems with those theories. So if you are keen in pursuing a career in civil services and you want to appear for the IAS exam, sociology can still be a safe optional. Okay, please sit down.
Thank you.
Next. As I said, India has still a lot to achieve. We are still not in those very green areas. That means we are still ranked low, that means ranked high in terms of the incidence of corruption. Next. The corruption aspect, it is considered to be like a cancer to the society. So that is why this needs to be battled with support of all. So that is why these are the results of having, these are the effects of corruption. Next. This actually is a slide that we use in our presentations to various forums. And this list is not exhaustive. When I mean exhaustive, that means there can be many more causes of corruption. What you need to understand here is lack of education, absence of morality, value, ethics and integrity. Please focus on the lines beneath the title people. That is all what matters to you in the present stage. Rest all when you enter your careers. Next. What is the criteria for voting in our country? Huh? Who can vote? What age? So how many of you are here above 18? Oh, many hands. So have you all got yourself enlisted as voters? Anyone? Only one? That's all. Out of more than 100 hands, how many? Only few have been got enlisted as voters. So please exercise your right. If you are having the eligibility to vote, please get yourself enlisted as a voter, because that's an important tool in the hands of a vigilant citizen. So these are the aspects that make a vigilant citizen. So what we expect from you is, when you grow up, you need to be a vigilant citizen. So these are the attributes. Can anyone tell me what is the use of having a CCTV? The boys in the middle are being very noisy. They seem to have a different work there. Anyone? Yeah, please, that orange shirt. Yeah, yourself. Please stand up. Yourself. Yes, yes. Your name, please? Praneeth. Okay, please tell me, have you seen a CCTV? What is the use of having a CCTV? Where did you see, first of all? Where?
In our classroom, sir.
In our classroom. So what is the purpose of having a CCTV? Come on.
Observing, sir.
For what?
Observing.
For observing. So that means it acts as a deterrent, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
what it will they observe? Whether you are chit-chatting in the class.
No, sir. Using
Right.
phone.
Huh? What is it?
Using phone, sir.
Okay, whether you are seeing the cell phones and all. So, please sit down. This CCTV, this has actually revolutionized the concept of security. Because we have to make use of the technology. You must have seen in textile showrooms, in other shops, they also install CCTV to prevent theft, right? In banks also you find these CCTVs. I will share one personal experience here, because I definitely feel that some of you will make a career in civil services. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by smartness in digital coverage? What do you mean by smartness? Smartness in digital coverage. Any idea? What is digital coverage? Any yes? This boy is there? Come on. Yeah, please, stand up. Yourself. The one wearing the mask. Yeah, please stand up. Yeah. Can you tell me what you mean by smartness in digital coverages? Do you watch cricket? So, are you happy with the telecast all the time, or you feel something is missing in the telecast?
No, sir.
Not, sometimes you don't find that the telecast is not capturing the the stroke of the batsman or the catch by the fielder, because the angles are different. So there is a career in information technology which focuses only on improving the digital upgradation of telecasting, capturing the images, etc. Please sit down. All of you must have passed through these toll posts. right? So at the toll post, nowadays you are having FASTag, so you don't even pay money, you just zip off, right? Suppose there is a crime that has happened and I want to understand whether a vehicle has passed through the toll. What do? I look for the CCTV, right? But if the positioning of the CCTV is not appropriate, it will only capture maybe some portion of the truck or the bus or something, but the number is not captured. The driver's face or something is not captured. So it has been observed that most of the CCTVs at our tolls were not digitally smart. And sometimes only after something nasty happens, we take precaution or we take a preventive measure. Like the case I was referring, it pertains to a very horrendous incident where something nasty has happened and the culprits had escaped through a toll. But there was no idea on how they have passed through that, what vehicle, what number, nothing. So had the CCTV position been proper, it would have been avoided. So the point is, we have lot of tools, but you need to see that they are digitally smart when it comes to leveraging technology. That is why this point I have tried to elaborate, because this is another point which is offering lot of career options. How many of you are going to take up computer science or electronics and communication? Anyone here? Yeah, please stand up. So, there are softwares which improve the digital quality of the image. This CCTV and digital surveillance, they are going to be the norm of the security and the vigilance setup in most of the PSUs and private sector. And there is a lot of room for improving the way we monitor our digital surveillance. Next. Again, this slide has been taken from one of the essays written by a school student only. I purposefully took these slides to make you understand that this concept of vigilance, being vigilant, preventing irregularities in the society, people are thinking of it even in their school days. So that is the reason why I have decided to flash this. Next. Anyone who is going to join political science? Any political science students? Only one? Yeah, please. What do you, why have you chosen political science? Good. So what do you expect to study in political science?
What do I expect?
Yeah. Not yet. You have not yet gone into that detail. It's a very interesting subject and it's a very vast subject. It has a lot of potential to fetch you good marks also in the competitive exams. So these are the constitutional setups that we have adopted for fighting corruption. So whether you study the governance part, you will come to know the powers and functions of these authorities. Please sit down. Next. Next. Do you think that as students, you have a role to play in improving the quality of the services in GITAM? Anyone? Do the students have a role to play in improving the quality of services in your institute? Yes. One example. Yeah, please. Yeah, yourself. Come on. Yeah, feedback. That means an unbiased feedback. Okay? An unbiased feedback plus what else? Okay. Right? Yeah, very good. Sit down. So, you have a vital role to play in the development of this organization also. So, please use your rights and responsibilities in a responsible manner. We all have rights, we also have responsibilities. So, as a student, you have rights, you also have responsibilities. So, if you are fulfilling them properly, you play a vital role. Next. Next. So this is all because, as I said, maybe since you are all freshers, I don't want to touch more on the theoretical aspects. This is how in India we have started the vigilance commissions and the mechanisms. So as I said, those who are going to pursue political science, they will be reading about it in their lessons also. Next. 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 Yeah, please hold on. Those who said they want to enter civil services or any service, it can be central civil services, it can be IAS, IPS, it can be your state civil services, it can be any public sector. You need to be mindful about this aspect. This is one aspect that will get you into problem if you neglect. Most of us think that somebody accepting a bribe, only he is to be caught. Somebody who is giving bribe, only he is to be caught. It's not that. This filters down to more in-depth meaning. So that is the reason why I have given these 3 bullets here. What do you mean by abusing your position? Yes? Yeah. Can you tell me, as a student, how can you misuse your position? One example. No idea. Anyone? Please sit down. How you can misuse your position as a student? No idea? Have you ever misused your position as a student? Now come on, you can all be a bit frank also. I can admit that I have misused my position as a student in school also. You know how? We were given responsibility to ring the bells after the end of the school. Right? So that was a position given to you. So what we used to do is, because after the last period, we used to have games period. That was the practice in our school. So we used to ring the bell of the last period at least 10 to 15 minutes in advance. So we misused our position, or we misused the responsibility given to us for our benefit. So this is a normal thing. I don't know how many of you use geometry boxes. I don't know, now I think they are all, right? Because in our school days, we used to have that Camel, Sony, all that type of geometry box, and you have that, campus. Okay? So the favorite sport we used to have in the class is draw a circle on the desk and start hitting the center of the circle with this campus. So that spoils the furniture. So the desk used to get spoiled. So I am saying that we also have done these things, but later on realized, this is not done, because we are actually spoiling the furniture and the asset of the school or college or whatever. So, this aspect of abusing your position is what you need to register in the mind for the current time. Don't abuse your position. Next. Yeah, please play just. I don't know if you can read the last line. See, the last line says, willful negligence, recklessness in decision making, blatant violation of systems and procedures, exercise of discretion, all these also amount to being a corrupt person or being a non-vigilant person. How many of you have violated traffic signals? How many times you have violated traffic signals? So did you realize the responsibility of having violated a traffic signal? Anyone? Yes? Yeah, please, stand up. No, please use the mic, yeah.
So I was driving my father. Hello?
Yeah, please.
So I was driving my father's bike at around 140 kilometers per hour. And there was a speed limit sign that I noticed afterwards that it was saying around you should drive at 60 kilometers per hour. I didn't notice that. Then the police officer actually, he said to stop me and he gave a fine around like 500 rupees to my
Okay.
father's phone.
I hope, yeah, please sit down. I hope you don't repeat it. Because I will now tell you one incident from my college life. So as I said, we have these semester exams and we had the habit of only reading in the night because just 1 week before exams we used to prepare. I was in Chennai in those days. I was staying in Bisant Nagar. Anyone from Chennai? Yeah, so good. So I think it was around late in the night. So we all thought that let us go and have cup of tea. So we had, yeah, it was tea only, don't worry. So, but we had only one bike. So we were actually 5 friends. So on one bike, 5 of us were sitting. We just came out onto the main road towards the tea shop, and to our bad luck, there was a patrol van. The moment we entered the main road, there was a patrol van. And our friend from Chennai will agree with me. Chennai police don't have any mercy. They are the toughest, very, very rough also. They are very rough. So we were stopped by the patrol van, and we thought that it's over. Because one, we know that they will definitely book a case. 2, we were afraid that college will get to know, parents will get to know, and obviously we had the exam next day. So we were more worried about that also. So they stopped us. They said, get down. We got down. They took the keys of the bike and they said, all of you come there. So we said, it is over, finished. We went there. So to our surprise, there was one inspector who was noting down the things and all. He looked at us. He said, college pasanga. You understand, no? He said, Ama sir, namalla college pasang sir. Nalag exam irik sir. Sir, vitteding sir. We were totally pleading. Then he said, in the college. Then we told the name of our college. And he told to the person who brought it, he said, you look after the other vehicles. Then he took us aside. We thought, gone, completely gone. So he took us to the tea shop. He said, See, my son also is in third year engineering. So I feel he may be also doing something similar like you are all doing. But please don't do this. Your luck is that today I am here on duty. Had it been someone else, your careers would have been over. And he actually treated us with no tea and biscuits, and he shared his number also. He said, don't do this again. If at all you are in a real problem, you are free to contact me. So that was so nice of him. So sometimes you will be lucky enough to escape the punishment for being negligent, for being reckless, and for blatant violation of system. But friends, remember, you will not be lucky always. And once it hits, it will hit you very hard. So the best thing is not succumb to these. So why do they say that prevention is better than cure? Can anyone here tell me one activity that they have adopted which prevented them from some grave incident or damage or anything? Anyone? Let us hear from the backbenchers. I was also a backbencher like you. I always used to select the backbench. Anyone? What do you mean by prevention is better than cure? Can you correlate with any of your own experience? I believe in sharing experiences. We all have enough time to read the textbooks, listen to lectures, that is all fine. Yeah? Let us give a chance there, we'll get back to you. Yeah, please. Prevention is better than cure. Can you tell me just briefly your personal experience? You people are not bold, no? See, at least I am old, but I am still bold. You are not sharing any personal experience. Tell me, preventive, how that help? Okay, then again, count of 3. If you are not speaking, front benchers are going to take the chance. Yeah, okay, please. I know we are running short of time. Yeah, see, she has come up with a very bright reply in the pandemic scenario by wearing masks. Yeah, please sit down. So, that's what. So, even in vigilance also, what we say is, you adopt systemic improvements in such a way that you don't commit an offense. You don't do something wrong. So that is why preventive vigilance is very, very important. And as I said, this has got nothing to do with government. You also can adopt preventive vigilance measures in your day-to-day life. Next. See, this is the main thing. You can improve your efficiency, you can ensure that you are accountable, and you can improve your transparency by adopting preventive measures. Next. This is the theme behind preventive vigilance. Actually, in government, we run an entire week of the year. Can anyone tell me about Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel? Yes? Anyone? Yeah, please stand up. Please give him the mic. He is fondly known as the Sardar. Yes, Iron Man of India.
Sir, Sardar Vallabhbhai is known as Iron Man of India, sir.
Yes.
He has also worked in Congress. He was
Yes.
also a member of Congress, sir. He has actively participated in uniting the 576 princely states in India, sir.
Very good.
He has also helped in uniting Jammu and Kashmir to India, sir.
Yes.
Which now the some of the part in Kashmir is taken by POK. But during his time, India has seen much growth, sir.
Yes.
That's all.
Good. Sit down. He is also credited for having brought uniformity in the civil services as well. So that is why Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel birthday that falls on 31st October, we organize 1 week to commemorate that activities as a Vigilance Awareness Week. In that week, we cover schools, colleges, offices to observe sessions on preventive vigilance. So in fact, you can Google also, you will find there are several public sector units who do lot of activity on vigilance awareness. Many schools participate, we organize quiz competitions, and this happens to be a very important exercise for strengthening the vigilance awareness in the country. As I said, if you are not aware, the battery is half lost. Improve the awareness, make them more prepared, it helps you in achieving the objective. Next. So these are the focus areas. As students, you have to focus on leveraging technology. That's what I said. There are many solutions which have become career options for leveraging technology in respect of enforcing vigilance. Next. This is what will be of interest to political science and humanities students. These are the steps that we follow. Anyone from public administration? Anyone who is going to take public administration as a subject? PubAd? No, okay. So otherwise, these are things that you cover there also. Next. Can anyone tell me what is E Vigilance? What does E stand for? Very good. And why do you think that E Vigilance is going to dominate the coming times? Yes, come on. Yeah, you are saying something. Why do you think that E Vigilance is important? Yeah, and as I said, this is an era of technology, right? So this being an era of technology, we have something called as ICT. What does ICT stand for? Next slide. ICT stands for? In your present days only, information and communication technology as far as e-vigilance is concerned. So those who are entering your B.Tech, BA, etc., this ICT is going to be the need of the hour. And whether it is information, whether it is communication, the technologies that are used to leverage these two, be it your data mining, your data analytics, all these are being used. Please keep that in mind. Why I am emphasizing this is, very soon, after you complete your studies, you will have to choose a career. These are very good career options as well. The ICT aspect to you be used in the implementation of vigilance. Next. Next. As I said, I am anyway leaving the presentation with you. You can refer it later on also. This is what we mean about ICT infrastructure and e-vigilance. This is the focus area of the government also now. We are now focusing more on e-vigilance. Next. Yeah. Has any one of you faced problem of your credit card or your bank account being hacked? Anyone? No. In your family, your parents, maybe your elder sister, brother, anyone having in mind to pursue a career of hacker? Good. We need those minds also, because only then you will understand how to plug in the loopholes. So, I will just conclude this session by giving one example how this aspect of e-vigilance is important to avoid the threats. there was a case of giving loans to beneficiaries. Okay, government gives a lot of loans. So in one particular organization, it was an online system. Everyone was expecting whatever happens through the computer and online is perfect. But what happened in that case was, the person who was approving the disbursement of the loan and the person who was verifying the credentials of the person were the same. That means he was performing dual role. He was verifying also, he was approving also. That means the level given to see whether the verification done is proper or not was removed. So this became a very big scam in that organization. Eventually they had to catch hold of several people because it was a big racket. So the point I'm trying to emphasize is the information and communication technology, the softwares, and also the applications. These all are going to become very dominant in future and already in the present. So we are having something that is called as forensic digital sciences. So some of you who are in pursuing careers in medicine, you will be hearing about forensics term. And I think Dr. Nalini, she herself is a psychology expert. So she knows about forensic psychology, how these forensic sciences are going to be dominated by digital infrastructure. This is also going to be an era. Just a small thing before, because it is something which I also found very surprising, but we all need to be aware of it. I was attending one training program in National Forensic Sciences University in Gandhinagar, Gujarat. So the session was on digital forensics, how you have to use those tools. And they also told us about the dark web. Some of you must have heard about the dark web, how problematic it is being, it is becoming. So there, the professor, he told us one very current and live example. It seems that one of his colleague had a fight with his wife, and they were fighting all the night. But by the time it was morning, they patched up. Both of them left to their jobs. After one day, they started getting SMSs asking them whether they need a divorce lawyer. They were getting calls also. So they were wondering, how come that we never told this to anyone? There was no third person in that room. How come that we are now getting these SMSs asking, are you keen to have an appointment with divorce lawyer, etc., etc. So he came and reported this matter to the National Forensic Sciences Institute, asking, please help me. I am really thoughtless how this has happened. They then prepared a checklist, it seems, asking them questions. Both the husband and wife were asked questions separately. Was there anyone? Was the door left open? Was the window left open? How far is your neighbor? Etc., etc. All things they have done. Nothing. They could not find a reason why this has happened. So after few days, then they started working on the equipments in that room, starting with air conditioner, remotes, TV, etc., etc., etc. And then they pointed out on one object, which is a favorite of many of us, because we don't even have the strength to walk from the sofa to the remote. No, we can't even with remote also we are unable to do. We are very fond of giving voice commands. How do you give voice commands? Alexa. So the reason it seems was the Alexa was on when they were having that fight. And Alexa comes with a feature to capture the sounds and send it to the data analytics wing of several companies. So the data mining happens through the recordings given by Alexa. And that was how they were getting the messages about diverse lawyer. So, friends, we have to be definitely a vigilant society to make our country prosperous. Next slides, we'll just browse through them fast. Yeah, next. Are you aware of digital signatures? Yes, anyone? What do you mean by a digital signature? You're all tired already. Yeah, yes, I can see some hands raising there. What do you mean by a digital signature? Don't hide. Get up and speak boldly. Yeah, please, get up. Mic for him, please. What do you mean by digital signature?
I just want to give an example, sir. For example, if there is an email, we want to know it is the same person who has sent the email. This will help us. This digital will help us to say it is the same person who has sent the email.
Yeah, good. See, now you all must have been using your bank accounts online. So apart from digital signature, the accounts also prompt you to give the OTPs. See, that is another level of security. So these all are going to play a very strong role in improving the vigilance in the systems. That's the point I wanted to make. Next. Those who are going to pursue their careers in engineering pertaining to IT or computer science or electronics, you will like to go through these things. This is how the information and communication technology maintenance is going to dominate the e-vigilance part. Next. This is what I was talking about, how the data analysis plays a crucial role, either IoTs, Internet of Things play a crucial role, etc. Next. So I am through with the presentation I have prepared. I don't know the timelines. I think I have already overshot.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing with us your valuable anecdotes as a civil service officer and also engineer. I'm sure that our students will take with them the core values of accountability, transparency, and integrity. Now, I call upon Suraj, first year BA Psychology, and Sharon, first year BA Political Science, to present our chief guest with the momentum as a small token of our appreciation. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the very enlightening talk, and I'd like to thank all the students for participating enthusiastically in this session. Thank you very much. Just a second. Sir has to say something.
I have only one last word to say, and I don't want to miss it in this session also, and that is, our country deserves to be the #1 in the world. And that is possible only when you all take your activities seriously. God bless you all. Jai Hind.